Never in my most far-fetched fantasies did I picture myself as someone who would shadow their partner to unearth concealed realities. Yet, Laura's recent string of late nights at work sparked a disquiet I couldn't dismiss. Over the past few weeks, she had become distant, evading my eyes during our talks, brushing off my efforts to connect, and clutching her phone as if it guarded state secrets. At first, I tried to quell my doubts, persuading myself I was overanalyzing her behavior. After all, a marriage enduring 12 years couldn't just collapse out of nowhere, could it? But a relentless intuition ate at me, demanding attention. So one Friday evening, instead of driving home, I guided my car toward the district where her co-workers often met for drinks. As I had feared, her car was parked outside a dimly lit pub. My pulse raced, each breath heavier as I stepped out of my vehicle. I told myself I could be wrong. Maybe she was just catching up with colleagues, and I was about to embarrass myself. Yet, deep inside, I felt a crack in my heart had already taken shape before I even pushed through the tavern's door. The instant I stepped inside, I spotted her. She wasn't surrounded by office mates, nor did she look worn out from a grueling day. Instead, she sat across from an unfamiliar man, her laughter echoing in a way I hadn't heard in ages. Her hand rested gently on his arm, her smile radiant and tender, much like the one she used to save for me in the early days of our love. My legs grew heavy, my throat dry, but I forced myself to stay, observing just long enough to be certain there was no error. I approached with slow, deliberate steps. She was too engrossed in their intimate exchange to notice me at first. When her gaze finally locked with mine, her face paled, and her laughter faltered. The man beside her shifted uncomfortably, sensing the charged atmosphere, but my attention stayed riveted on her. I didn't shout or create a scene. That wasn't the response she deserved from me anymore. Silently, I reached for my left hand and slipped off the wedding ring I had worn devotedly for over a decade. That band had once embodied the promises we made, the life we built, and the family we raised together. In that moment, it was merely a lifeless piece of metal. I placed it softly on the table in front of her. Her trembling fingers reached for it instinctively, but I pulled my hand back before she could touch it. The silence that enveloped us was deafening, as if the bar's background noise had dissolved. She murmured, "Please hold on," her eyes wide with fear, searching mine for a hint of compassion. But I had no mercy left to give. For 12 years I had poured my soul into her, and she chose to share her warmth, her touch, and her affection with someone else. I glanced at the man beside her. He looked away, clearly embarrassed, but I had no desire to confront him. He wasn't the one who had vowed to share his life with me, she was. Standing there, I realized I wasn't just walking away from her. I was leaving behind the version of myself who had trusted her unquestioningly, who ignored her growing aloofness, who held on to the false belief that our marriage still mattered. That man disappeared the moment I saw her with him. What remained was someone determined, someone who knew his value beyond being a secondary option in his own relationship. Her voice cracked as she called out my name, as if it were the only word she could muster. But I stood firm, unshaken. I didn't hesitate. I turned and walked toward the door, leaving her and her companion amid the ruins of the life she had shattered. My silence spoke louder than any words could. As I stepped into the cool night air, a deep sense of peace washed over me. For the first time in months, I felt free from confusion or self-doubt, no longer grasping at empty hopes. I was released. The burden of her betrayal had been replaced by a clear grasp of my truth. Though the road ahead would be lonely, it was mine to walk. And unlike her, I would never betray my own heart.